Well, we want to ask you about the weight loss.
Yeah.
How you went about doing it. And,
Oh, yeah. Well, I had a lap band AP system while I was on the show, and they addressed it on the show. I went to the executive producer to ask her, or not really to ask her, but to tell Ellen Wheeler that I was going to do this, and I hoped it was okay for the show, and actually, I really came to ask her if it was okay if we could write in some sort of storyline where I was like addicted to drugs or something to justify the weight loss. I wanted an Emmy, so that didn't work. No, but she was like, no, let's not tell that story about you being like anorexic. Let's tell this story about you actually having this surgery, because like I was saying, they want to tell the real thing since I was kind of relatable. And so they wrote it into the show. So that was an interesting way to bring more awareness to the option of having a procedure. I never thought that I would, but then again, I had always struggled with my weight, even though I had dieted since I was 12. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I always thought it was a more extreme option, but it seemed a really nice middle ground to... it's reversible and it's adjustable, and it was an outpatient procedure. It seemed a lot less... final and permanent.
So you were quite you were younger than you are now, like 22 years old when you made this decision to have the surgery.
Yeah.
What made you do that at such a young age to have that
actually,
surgery?
I was feeling a responsibility to myself because I felt that, you know, I wasn't feeling as confident and secure in my own skin as I could have. But I was also, many fans, and I've received many letters and stuff about how, like, you're representing me, and, you know, I feel badly about myself, or, you know what I mean? It's nice to see a woman like you on television, et cetera, et cetera. And that actually sort of changed my perspective and made me feel like I owe it to them to be the best I could be. Like, I was unable to exercise because I was so overweight. Things like that. So it wasn't for lack of trying so much as I didn't know how to kickstart it. And so, and then there came a whole swing of, if I did lose weight, how amazing of a role model would that be? Like, if I was honest about it, I've known of other celebrities who refused to admit that they had help, and how it brought shame upon this viably safe option that people had, and not that even if they didn't want to take the road that I took, at least have that be something that no one should be ashamed of.
Exactly.
And it was funny, we always had like a soap opera fan weekend, and the one that we had in October, right after I had, you know, a few months after I'd had the procedure in February of that year, it was amazing to me, the skin and boned women that would come out of the cracks being like, at these events being like, I have one also. You know what I mean? And being able to talk about that, or like, I've been on the wait list and I'm dealing with insurance, or like whatever, being able to open that forum up and to be able to say, like, you know, some people need help and it's okay to ask for help, and it doesn't mean that you're lazy or weak or whatever. It just means that this is what you are feeling is right for you. You know what I mean? It's so I felt an opportunity to tell that story through Ashlee, and also to be able to, I had great opportunities. I talked on E.T. and it was all over People and Us Weekly. Like, I have this amazing stack of magazines that I got to partake in, and I learned so much with the media and how to phrase things so you came out right, and like how to be tactful and stuff. It was like, you know, so far in my career and all of the amazing experience I've had dealing with like rag mags, particularly when dealing with something as sensitive as weight, that's a number one thing that I've learned and I'm grateful for. And the other was having so much on-camera time at Guiding Light.
That's great.
I mean, you know, you watch kids grow up. You watch all the Harry Potters and you're like, oh, they learned how to act when shooting those films. Like, oh, they grew up so much and then they became such good actors. And, hopefully I was better than like a 12-year-old kid when I began guiding light, but I just got so much on-camera work that I was like,
Right.
it was just the best acting class I ever could have been on.
Right. Okay.
Well, the guiding light. Ooh, no, you didn't make this book, but
I didn't. No, it came right before
Yes.
me,
Okay.
but
but
I've signed a bunch of them, if that matters.
now, did your fans? One last question with the weight loss. Like you went to that fan event and they responded, but did you get like supportive fan letters about
Yeah.
the weight loss through?
I did. I had a lot of people ask me a lot of questions that I had to redirect. I had to become more learned on the topic of having a lap band in particular than the average patient. Because people came to me for advice and things where I'd be like, you should talk to your doctor, but this was my experience, I also got a handful of letters that were like, weren't you proud of yourself? You represented us, and now you want to go all Hollywood on us? Like, I'm putting that politely. No, I mean, it got really, it could get very intense, as if I was somehow abandoning my people. And that was not it at all, because the way I still see it is like, I never really looked at it as like skinny or bigger, but like finding happy versus negative.
Right.
And I'm trying to get to a place where I felt really good about myself.
Of
So,
course.
I feel that's where I am, and
That's
I'm waiting
good.
for the industry to catch up, but I can't wait on them either.
That's
so
right.
I'm writing things for myself,
Great.
and
Right.
and I mean, it was really great to meet you guys.